Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, Super Football Edition. Today, we are going to be talking some college football, and we're going to be talking some NFL football for y'all this week. So a very special episode. And we have both our experts in that regard. We have the captain, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I am good.
And then we also have the producer, Mr. Justin Ackendell. He will be in the NFL part when we get to it, and we'll ask him how he's doing when he's ready. Byron, it's the game week.
Yes, sir.
Before we talk about that team up north, let's talk about that big game we had this past Saturday against number 7 Michigan State. Everything was lining up for a Michigan State upset. It was the same day a couple years ago where Michigan State beat Urban Meyer's best team, the 2015 team. Same time, same date. Everything was almost the same, except this game was at 12. The other game was at night. But Kirk Cousins back up because Kirk Cousins got hurt. But they did not upset us. Byron, we trounced them 56-7. Were you expecting that?
No, I was not expecting the game to be over by halftime. Like halfway through the third quarter, even. No, the second quarter.
Second quarter, it was over. So, yeah, because second quarter, it was 49-0.
Yes.
49-0 in the second quarter. Honestly, I think Michigan State messed up with giving Ohio State the ball first. I think they should have drove downfield first, established confidence so they could score. But once Ohio State went boom, boom on the first couple of plays, touchdown, and then they went 3 and out, and then we went boom, boom again, it was all over for them. We talked about it last week. They had the worst pass defense, let alone in the country, I believe. And it really showed this past Saturday. So, Byron, go ahead, man.
Yes. Like you said, Michigan State had one of their worst pass defenses I've ever seen from them.
That's saying something coming from us.
Right. Because our pass defense is not that great. Mm-hmm. But CJ Stroud had a monster game again. Yes, 32 for 35, but only missed 3 passes. Mm-hmm. He had 432 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Did CJ play the whole game?
CJ, no, they set him in after the first drive in the third quarter.
Oh, so he could have had 8. He could have had 8, 9, potentially 10 touchdowns if he played the whole game.
Yes, potentially, but we wanted to save him because we still got a football season left. Mm-hmm. Our run game, overall, we had 206 yards. Master Teague had 21 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown on his senior day. Travion Henderson had 9 carries for 63 yards, and then Mayan Williams had 4 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown. So most of our offensive capability came from CJ Stroud. Chris Olave had a very great game. 7 receptions, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, broke the wide receiver touchdown record on his senior day. Garrett Wilson, 7 receptions, 126 yards, also 2 touchdowns. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba had 10 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown. And then
video game numbers, man.
Yeah,
that was the top offense.
Yes, the top 3 receivers had video game numbers. And then also Julian Fleming caught a touchdown from CJ Stroud as well. Our defense played very well. They held Kenneth Walker III, who is one of the Heisman frontrunners, for 6 carries and 25 yards, no touchdown. Their quarterback, Peyton Thorne, had 14 completions for 36 for 158 yards and a touchdown. So his touchdown came late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's why I said Michigan State should have took the ball first, because their best player is a running back. And if the other team is just slinging the ball all over the field and you're behind 21 points in 5 minutes, you're going to abandon the run game. They abandoned it. I mean, we were stopping him anyway, but once you're down 21, 28, 35-0, you can't run the ball because you're wasting clock and you need all the clock you can get. So they had to throw the ball, and their offense isn't built like that. So that was a bad mistake on them. And even the coach from Michigan State, Mel Tucker, who was on our staff in 2002 when we won the national championship. So he knows how the stadium is. And he even said it himself. Once the stadium starts rocking and they're going, it's over. Like, because in that Avalanche, like if they're scoring, the crowd's into it, it's a wrap.
And the crowd
State stood no fucking chance.
And there is the producer, Mr. Ackendale. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
But yeah, this was wild. This was a wild game. You already said Olave broke the record. CJ Stroud, I mean, I don't see how you don't have him as the Heisman favorite right now, which is crazy for some OSU fans who wanted him benched in the third game.
Wanted him benched in the third game because, they say he wasn't having a great season, but he was. Like, statistically, he only threw 3 interceptions for those first 3 games, and he was dealing with a shoulder injury, which he injured during the Minnesota game and told everyone on Thursday. But apparently not a lot of OSU fans remember that.
Justin, you want anything to add on to the Michigan State before we move on?
OSU fans are cuckoo. They shouldn't have been slandering CJ Stroud so early, and now they understand. The man is probably about to win the Heisman after Saturday's performance. And Michigan State stood no chance. They could have took the ball first. They could have done anything. The only way that they were going to win that game is if CJ Stroud got hurt and 2 of the receivers got hurt. That was their only chance of winning. That game was annoying to watch. Thought it was going to be close. Had a buddy at the game who's like, his dad went to Ohio State, so he ain't really an Ohio State fan, but he is, and he was sick too. He was like, damn, I came here to see a good game, and the game was over by the second quarter.
Yeah, no one expected 56-7. But moving on from them, we're in the game week over here in Ohio. If you're listening to it across the nation or a different country, we call it Beat Michigan Week. We call them the Team Up North. This rivalry started October 16th, 1897. Currently, Michigan leads the all-time series 58, 51, and 6. So we are closing that gap. Largest victory in this thing was Michigan 86, Ohio State 0 in 1902. The longest win streak was 9 games. Michigan from 1901 to 1909. And the current win streak is Ohio State 2012 to present. So if Ohio State wins this game this Saturday, they will tie the longest win streak in this series. And this is a matchup of 2 top 5 teams. This means everything to these 2 schools, the 2 states. Byron, first off, what does the game mean to you? And how do you see this going down?
Oh, this is a big rivalry. I just remember everyone, in middle school, high school, everyone just hyping this up the whole week about, Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. No, Michigan's going to beat Ohio State. So it's a great rivalry to watch every year. I love it.
Justin, what do you think about the OSU Michigan rivalry and this game? Because this is number 2, which spoiler, OSU went to number 2 versus number 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge game. Growing up in Columbus, that game is religion. So absolutely, I've been watching that game forever. I'm an Ohio State supporter, not a fan, so I can always look at it clearly. And yeah, in Columbus and in Ann Arbor, Michigan, that's the only game that matters on Saturday.
Yeah, especially in Columbus. I can't speak for the Michigan fans, but at Ohio State, if you've watched the clip of Urban Meyer when he was commentating for Fox, he talks about how much this game truly means to Columbus and the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes, when they start off-season workouts, they have a clock in the weight room counting down to the Michigan game. They have beat Michigan drills. And Ryan Days continue this too, that after every practice, they do talk about Michigan. So it means a hell of a lot more, me personally, to Columbus than it does to Michigan, because they've if we lose this game, we're not going to the playoffs. Point blank, period. And that's how it used to be before the playoffs, where if we didn't beat Michigan, we didn't go to the Rose Bowl, or we didn't go to the national championship. So that's why this game's so important. And we're going to Michigan. They're the best defense we've played this year. Byron, what does OSU need to do to win this game?
Do whatever they did against Michigan State. Okay. Plain and simple. CJ Stroud needs to have an amazing game. The defense needs to step up. It's the number one, I believe, the number one scoring offense against like the number 7 scoring defense. So it's going to be, it should be a close game, but I'm hoping that it's not. But yeah, CJ Stroud just needs to have another Heisman performance, and everyone just needs to be clicking on all cylinders.
Justin, you're our betting expert. OSU right now is a -7. They're only a 7-point favorite, which is surprising to me. Would you take that?
Yeah, I would. I would take OSU to cover 7. I mean, the Michigan State game was 3 touchdowns, and they blew that out the water. Michigan State did beat Michigan. Michigan's offense is not really explosive. I know they lost their top receiver. So I don't see how Michigan's going to keep up. I don't think the defense is going to be able to stop them. I don't know how good their secondary is, but stopping Ohio State's receivers is going to be a tall order for, honestly, anyone. Shit, even Georgia probably. So, yeah, I definitely see Ohio State covering that game and going to a Big Ten championship.
It's going to be crazy up there in Michigan. Fox's big noon crew is going to be there. ESPN's college game day is going to be there. So both of them are going to be there. Fox is covering the game, Platt and Johnson. So
that's interesting. Have they ever been at the same spot at the same time before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have no choice when this is the biggest game of the weekend. If ESPN wanted to go somewhere else,
I mean, ESPN probably go with the Bedlam. Isn't that the game that they're covering?
It's the night game, yeah, but I mean that game's not bigger than 2 versus 5.
Yeah, it's not.
So no, that's a good question because most people don't know that since Fox, there have been times where they've both been in the shoe at the like at the Horseshoe or at another place at the same time. So it's wild, but yeah, we gotta win. Like I understand all of us here are not. We're old enough that if you paid attention to older people watching late in the 90s of Cooper always losing to Michigan and Cooper go 10-2, 11-1, you lose to Michigan, your whole season doesn't matter. Period. The man got fired and he was like 10-2, 11-1 almost every year, but couldn't beat Michigan. Lloyd Carr kept smacking them.
Well, Michigan was probably better. I know Michigan in the 90s was going to Rose Bowls and shit because they were winning that game.
Hey, I mean, they were good in the early Trestles. I mean, they went to a couple Rose Bowl, well, one, but they were good too. It's just Ohio State kept plugging on. They got ever since Michigan got rid of Lloyd Carr, they haven't been the same.
No,
they had Brady Hoke, who only beat us during the Luke Fickell transition year. The closest Michigan has gotten, I think, Justin, did you go to that game? To the walk-off, the double overtime?
I went to the one that they got blown. That the year after they got blown out.
Oh, you went to that one.
Yeah,
I was at the
Curtis Samuel. Yeah, you were at the Curtis
2 versus 3.
So no, man, this is gonna be good. I do expect they need to win because if they don't win, everything in front of them is gone. So let's get into it right now. College football playoff came out. The rankings came out. In our group messages, we talked about OSU jumping to number 2, and they did. Georgia is number 1. OSU is number 2. Alabama is number 3. Number 4 is the Cincinnati Bearcats.
About damn time.
Right.
I know there was some chatter that people were going to try and have Michigan be number 5. And Byron, we were not having that.
No.
Number 6 is Notre Dame. Number 7 is Oklahoma State. Number 8 is Baylor. Number 9 is Mississippi. Number 10 is Oklahoma. Well, quickly, if you're asking what happened to Oregon, they were number 3 and they got shellacked by Utah. So and then they went to 11 and Michigan State went to 12. First off, Justin, right move, OSU number 2?
Yeah, absolutely. When you fucking road grade Michigan State the way they did, they had to move up over Alabama. Alabama only won by 7 against Arkansas, even though Arkansas really ain't bad. Bryce Young went off, but yeah, Ohio State definitely played better in their game against a better opponent.
Byron, Cincinnati number 4, the right move?
Of course it's the right move. They should have been top 4 ever since the college football playoffs came out. But no, they want to put Alabama at 2 because it's ESPN.
I want to put this on the record. The last time Cincinnati hasn't lost a regular season game in 2 years. And the only time they have lost in the past since the beginning of the 2020 season was in the Peach Bowl against Georgia. And that was a game. Yes, we were in that game pretty much the whole damn game. So just a little 2 cents.
Yeah. So and they play Friday too, so definitely got to watch that so they can hopefully finish their regular season undefeated. As shout out to our Dragon Ball expert Mitch Osu, which he needs to trademark this before this state does. Currently, right now, it is the SEC versus Ohio if the playoffs start today, and that is going to sell a lot of T-shirts if it stays true. So, Mitch, trademark that now, man, and then have the state buy it from you. But the surprising thing for me, Byron, Notre Dame is at 6.
Yeah,
if chaos happens, they could sneak in.
They definitely could sneak in. They definitely would need either Ohio State or Michigan to lose. They don't?
No, they don't. They just need Alabama to lose now.
What?
That's true.
They're 6, right? Watch, they're 6.
Let's hear it.
Let's let me hear me out. They're 6. Alabama's 3. If Alabama loses to Georgia, that's 2 losses. They're out of the top 5. Michigan's going to lose to Ohio State. They'll be out. So they'll be below. That's already putting if Michigan loses this week, that's 5. If Alabama loses the SEC championship game, they're out. And if Cincinnati, Ohio State, and Georgia wins, Notre Dame's going in.
You don't think a 1-loss Oklahoma State could potentially jump them?
You don't think that'll be Oklahoma?
Nope. You can't trust any of those teams.
Has Baylor lost twice?
No.
Yep. They're done. They're not making it. Yeah, they lost twice. They lost to TCU after they got rid of Gary Patterson.
Well,
yeah, Baylor's 9-2, Mississippi's 9-2, but no Justin, because the other reason too is Notre Dame's only loss, if it starts right now, is to the number 4 team in the country, and they've run roughshod on everyone else. They could get in.
The only way I see them getting in is if Michigan loses again. If they lose in the Big Ten championship. Yeah.
Oh well, Michigan's not beating us, so I'm not even considering that.
If they were the win, because Notre Dame to get in, they will need a Michigan win on Saturday.
True, but that 4th spot, like we've talked about, it comes down to Bama, because Bama's going to lose to Georgia. Because if Bama beats Georgia, we're going to have freaking problems.
Both getting in.
Oh, they both will get in. But if Bama loses, they're out. That's why I'm saying that 4th spot is wide open. Because I just don't believe in Oklahoma State. They're going to lose. And Oklahoma, they're at 10. Like
there's no way they get in. Well, they've been playing like dog shit all goddamn year. Yeah. I mean, they've been winning somehow, but there's no way.
Yeah,
that's why I said Oklahoma State. If they went out, there's no way.
No, I get what you're saying. If Notre Dame loses this weekend, and then Oklahoma State has a shot, yes, you're right.
Yeah, because there's no way they'll put a 1 loss. If both teams have 1 loss, Notre Dame gets it 10 out of 10. That's just branding.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Can you imagine a college football playoff with Ohio State? You have the SEC Georgia, underdog Cincinnati, and a blue blood like Notre Dame. Branding, ratings. Notre Dame is going to bring more fans than Oklahoma State to the TV. Yeah. That's very interesting that they've quietly gone to 6, but that makes Cincinnati look better because their best win is against the number 6 team. It's gonna be wild, man. Like any shot, well, Auburn's finally out of the top 25. About damn time, because they
probably only took him out because Bo Nix ain't gonna play against Bama this weekend.
Oh, they're gonna get slaughtered. That game shouldn't even be on TV. But guess who got ranked this time? Byron, good old buddies Clemson.
Good for you, Clemson.
After shellacking number 10, Wake Forest was number 10. They dropped all the way to 18.
Good for you, Clemson.
They beat the brakes off of them. They could still, I think, win the ACC.
The ACC is horrible.
It is. But Clemson is building now for next year.
I think they'll be back next year. And that shitty ass conference.
I do too.
It don't take much. They already won the 2 nags, so they got the clout.
The crazy thing is, though, even though they beat Wake Forest is still number 1 in the Atlantic ACC.
Well, they've only lost twice.
Yeah, they're 6-1 in the conference, and Clemson is 6-2 in the conference. So
they need some help.
They would need Wake Forest to lose this weekend to make the ACC championship.
Who's Wake play? North Carolina, probably.
I think so. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm looking. That Notre Dame spot is so interesting.
Wake Forest plays Boston College.
Oh, yeah, they're going. Okay. All right. Byron, Justin, anything else before we shift to NFL? I do have one more thing that I'm going to go off on.
What about football? About college or the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Go off now.
Yeah,
and I have it.
Might as well.
Oh, all right.
In the college football segment, off right.
All right. So I have a problem with the whole college football. Whoever votes for anything in the league. My problem is that, Justin, I don't know if you have seen this yet, but they announced the awards for like the final, like the Biletnikoff, the top wide receiver award. Justin, I don't know if you know, they only take 3 receivers, right? And none of the Ohio State receivers were picked as a finalist for the best wide receiver in the country.
Not one.
Not one. Even though statistically they are beating all of the receivers who were picked. And not one.
Who are the 3 that are going to New York or wherever they do the college football awards?
I know one is David Bell, the receiver out of Purdue. I can't remember the other 3.
David Bell. Let me pull it up. Mr. Joel Klatt was going off on that. But I just sat there and I just said, this is what we're doing.
Jamison Williams.
All right. David Bell. Yep, Jamison Williams. Hey, and Justin, I hope you know Jamison Williams, wide receiver from Alabama. Yep, he went to school at Ohio State. He transferred because he wasn't going to sniff the field because of the talent we have right now. But now he's one of the finalists. Okay. And Jordan Addison from Pittsburgh. None of the not even Chris Olave or Wilson, none of them. I just want to know who voted for that because that makes no damn sense. Makes 0 sense.
I don't have a defense. Yeah, it's odd. You said all 3 of them are statistically better than the 3 that are gone.
Chris Olave has
the only logical explanation I can think of for them not taking any OSU receiver is that they will all play off each other, making everything easier for one another. Because you can't double one of them because one of them will be open type shit. So that's the only way I can rationalize it.
I think I hear your rationalization because I've heard that. It's just wild to think that the best receiving core in the country, who has the best receiver in Chris Olave, who has the next best receiver, who's going to be the best receiver next year, and then Jigba, no one in the top 3. That's just like saying, I mean, when they do the running backs, is Travion Henderson not going to be potentially picked?
I'm trying to think that any of those Alabama receivers won the Biletnikoff Award.
Wasn't it Devonta Smith?
Yeah, the Heisman winner last year. Devonta Smith. He won all the awards. Yeah.
That's odd.
And I could understand him because he lost. So I'm just if Jalen Waddle played the full season, he might not have won the Heisman. Jalen Waddle played the whole season because they might be.
Did Jamar Chase win the Biletnikoff
the whole season?
I don't know.
I would have. Who was the best? I assume he
was because Justin Jefferson was his other receiver.
And they had Moss at tight end. I know they're not counting
Clyde
tight ends, but
that team was just stacked.
Yeah, it was.
I'm getting those award
I
lists
watch
for
that
you right
LSU
now.
Natty Championship team every Sunday. They're everywhere. Joe Burrow, Patrick Queen, Jamar Chase, fucking everywhere. Justin Jefferson went off. Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, he won the Biletnikoff Award in 2019.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't have a. See, that's why college football fans are always pissed off on Twitter. The sport does shit like this. It's amazing that we still watch it every Saturday.
Shoot, in 2018, Alabama's had. Listen to this. Alabama had 2014 Amari Cooper won it. 2018 Jerry Jeudy won it, and then 2020 Devontae Smith won it.
Alabama knows how to produce wide receivers.
You can't be watching the games.
I just want to know because we've had people recently like Brandon Cooks won in 2013, D.D. Westbrook, James Washington. Michael Crabtree's the only person to win it. No, Michael Crabtree and Justin Blackman, the only two to win it back to back. And people don't say in school. The only OSU receiver to ever win, Terry Glenn in 1995.
Wow.
And that's crazy. But what can you do? Byron, you got anything else before we switch it to NFL?
Go Bucks. Beat Michigan. Stay focused this weekend. Finish the season off right.
Justin, man, transition us into some NFL talk.
Week 11 was bullshit once again. If you were watching Red Zone on Sunday during the 1 o'clock window, you would have seen like 5 picks in a row. It was crazy. But we will start with what was supposed to be the game of the weekend. My Cowboys at the Chiefs. Chiefs won the game 19-9. So we didn't score a touchdown. And the over-under for this game was 56.5 points. And that wasn't close. We were very hurt going to the game. Amari Cooper has COVID. And he's not vaccinated, so he's going to miss. He's missing last game. He's going to miss the one on Thursday. Gave up 5 sacks. Tyron Smith didn't play. Chris Jones had 3.5. The goddamn Chiefs defense decided to play like the steel curtain. They only gave up 276 yards. The Chiefs offense was not impressing me, but they scored enough, and the defense did the rest. Cowboys got into the red zone 4 times, only ended up with 3 field goals. And then we kicked the field goal in the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes left, and that's when I knew it was over. We weren't doing shit all game. And yeah, that game was just complete bullshit.
Justin, when you said the week was bullshit, I just want to ask, so who's good this year in the NFL?
Who's good?
Who's good? Because every time I think a team's good, something happens. I thought the Rams were it. They've been smoked the past couple games. Obviously, Tampa Bay, I mean, they've been smoked, but you already know once it gets to playoffs, 12 is 12. I would think every time there's an it team in the league,
well, I don't think any team is significantly better than the next team. I don't think there's like a tier, because if you're in the tier of good teams, there's a lot of good teams, and then I guess my tier below will be the shit teams that I think aren't going to make the playoffs or like on the fence. So I'll say the good tier, Cowboys, the Bills, even though they lost.
They're another team I had as an AFC favorite. They got
Green Bay,
whacked.
Rams. Who else am I missing? The Arizona Cardinals. Pretty much that class. And then you got the class below it. I would say the Chiefs are firmly in that class. New England is shit. They might push their way to the first tier if they keep playing.
You don't have the Ravens? Ravens in the first class?
I mean, I watch the Ravens a lot, and I don't think they're very good other than Lamar Jackson. So I personally have them in tier 2. Lamar Jackson is just honestly amazing and covers up a lot for them.
Fair. Okay. I just don't know. Byron, did you watch the Chiefs?
No,
Cowboys?
What was I doing? I was editing.
Oh, look at you. But no, I watched the game, and it's crazy too because I was on the verge, like, man, the Cowboys might be the best team in the league when everyone's healthy.
So much shit.
Then I come here.
It hurts.
Yeah, and then CD left at half. I think if CD didn't leave at halftime, you guys would have still had a shot.
I just think we didn't run the ball enough. Like, Zeke fucked up his ankle and like wasn't the same. He still stayed in the game, but I just didn't think we committed to the run enough. And then like the Chiefs were honestly just better. Like they had more fire coming out. They had more juice. We came out kind of flat. Like it wasn't our game.
Fair enough. Next game we had a recap, which I think you need to trademark this term too, trying to get everyone in the L7C their money. 1 p.m. Kirk. That needs to be a T-shirt, trademark. You need to get that money, man, because
I think
it's true.
I think I stole
Go ahead.
But yeah, 1 p.m. Kirk. That man is undefeated. Oh my God, he's a Hall of Fame. This game was nuts. Packers at Vikings. I mean, first of all, fuck that I was in Ohio because like the way I had my TV set up, I got the big screen TV on Red Zone. Then I have my little TV with the Xbox. And I have Fox app. So whatever game's on Fox, that's on the TV. And I was thinking, oh yeah, Packers, Vikings, Bengals don't play till 4. Let's go. And then I got stuck with Lions Brown. So I only saw this game on Red Zone and I watched the highlights yesterday, but goddamn, this game was fucking crazy. Kurt and Aaron Rodgers were both incredible. Rodgers 67%, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had 7 catches, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. 1 p.m. Kirk 68%, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jefferson went off, 8 catches, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thielen did his thing, 8 catches, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. Dalvin Cook 25 touches, 115 total yards, 1 touchdown. The Vikings were up in this game 23-10 with about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. And then the Vikings did what they typically do, start to blow the lead. It gets to the fourth quarter after Devontae Adams scores his second touchdown. Packers up 24-3 with 8 minutes left. Kirk gets the ball back, drives it down, caps it off with a 23-yarder to Justin Jefferson. The very next possession, there's about 2 minutes left in the game. 2.5 minutes left in the game. The very next possession, Aaron Rodgers throws a 75-yard bomb to Marcus Valdez-Scantling for a touchdown. But they left too much time for Kirk. He had 3 timeouts left with 2:08 yet. And then the next play, Kirk Cousins throws what looks like to be a pick, but the Packer corner dropped it. And then they drive down the ball, kill the clock, and kick a field goal at like 10-yard line to win the game. Crazy game. Packers, they'll be fine. Oh, Packers play the Rams this week, so
you got the Rams. I don't know if they'll be.
They're going to win the division. They're going to win the division.
Oh yeah. Oh,
they're going to win the division unless Kirk keeps this roll up. But yeah, I think in the NFC playoffs, no one's going to want to play the Vikings if they can find the way to win the games that they let go most of the time.
Oh, that is true because the last time the Vikings were in the playoffs, that was against.
You didn't have to bring that up.
That was the only. That was the only game Kirk Cousins was 1 p.m. Kirk on a real game.
Motherfuckers be scared of Kirk Cousins with 2 minutes left. I swear to God, the nigga turns in if it's 1 o'clock and no one is watching. The man turns into Tom Brady in the 2-minute drill. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, he has great weapons. He has a great running back, but Kirk Cousins, someone got to get him the ball, and Kirk can do that.
Justin, man, the shocker, one of the many shockers. The Colts at the Bills. Colts won 41-15. What the hell happened?
Jonathan Taylor happened. I'm not going to go too much into the game. I just put it on here because I just want to talk about him. Jonathan Taylor had 32 carries, 185 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. He's averaging 5.8 yards a carry, already has over 1,000 yards and 15 total touchdowns. Since week 6, I'm going to tell you his rushing stat line. He's had 145 rushing yards, 147 rushing yards, 70 rushing yards, 172 rushing yards against the Jets, 116 last week, 185 this week. And the 70-yard game was when they lost to Tennessee. On Sunday,
on the worst Carson Wentz pick of all time.
On Sunday, he tied the NFL record for most consecutive games with a 100-yard scrimmage and a rushing touchdown. 8 straight. He tied it. Wow. He tied LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. He doing shit. He doing shit that GOATs are doing right now. And I think he should be a front runner in the MVP, honestly, for just carrying Carson Wentz's shitty ass. Jonathan Taylor has made Carson Wentz a viable quarterback again.
No, I agree. I don't know. Every time I think of an MVP, like at first beginning, I thought it was going to be Lamar because Lamar was having better stats than his MVP season. I thought Kyler was going to be there. But now I think it's going to be Jonathan at this moment in time, Jonathan Taylor, especially if he takes the Colts to the playoffs. Because it ain't Carson taking
Carson Wentz suck. I mean,
yes, he does.
The line was hurt earlier in the year. So, like, the stats I gave off is when the line got healthy. So, that's contributing a lot. But the man is just incredible. I mean, if you can take Carson Wentz has also cut down on his turnovers, like, a lot since last year with the Eagles. So, that's also helping the team's leading success. But it's all about Jonathan Taylor and the Colts offensive line. Like,
how dangerous of a threat do you think they'd be in the playoffs?
I don't think anyone wants to play them. It's going to be cold. They can run the ball. Carson Wentz is the only question mark. But they might be able to run the ball to an AFC championship game. Colts play Tampa this week. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they'll do against good old Tom Brady going up to Indy.
Oh Lord. Byron, man, what are you thinking about Jonathan Taylor right now? Like, I know your team's in the NFC, so you're not really paying attention to the AFC, but what do you think about the Colts right now,
if
Taylor?
He can, like Justin said, he's going to rush into the AFC championship. He should definitely win the MVP because this man has been on a tear since week 6. Like, my team played him in our fantasy, and he scored 53 points. So
50
I'm scared of that. I'm scared of him.
Justin, man, I will say the past 2 times we've been on NFL-wise, we've given praise to the running backs. Because last time you were on, you were talking. I had to calm it down a bit because you were talking Derrick Henry top 5 of all time.
I think he got hurt either the week after or 2 weeks after.
Yeah. So at all, but I do like Jonathan. I think it'd be great to see a running back win MVP. But we talked about the game in college football with Osu Michigan. There's also another tradition this week. Thanksgiving football. I don't know about y'all, but it's really not Thanksgiving unless you got food and you're watching the games all day. And you know who plays on Thanksgiving. The Cowboys. They have the Raiders coming to town. Justin, what's going to happen?
There's a game before that. Lions, Bears. But I'm not previewing that game because I probably won't watch it because those teams are awful. And if Justin Fields doesn't play, I really ain't going to watch that game. Oh,
he's not playing.
Oh, no reason to watch that bullshit then. Raiders at Cowboys. Raiders lost to the Bengals on Sunday. Joe Mixon just went off. All the Bengals did on Sunday was just run the ball, and the Raiders could not stop it. I mean, the Raiders have been through fucking hell, absolute hell since they fired John Gruden. Henry Ruggs probably going to end up in jail. Their cornerback got cut for having guns. No, he threatened the fan.
Oh, Damian Arnett from the Ohio State University.
He threatened a fan on Twitter and was flashing his guns. Shit, just stupid. Anyway, Raiders are 20th in DVOA on offense. Total DVA 23rd. Cowboys offensive DVOA 8, defensive DVOA 4th total DVOA. Gotta see who's playing for the Cowboys. No, Amari Cooper isn't. CD Lamb didn't practice today, so I don't think we're going to have them. I still think the Cowboys win the game. If we just get back to running the ball with Tony Pollard and Zeke, I expect us to win this game. Not sure if we cover the 8 points, but I like us in the bounce back spot against a falling Raiders team.
Byron, who are you liking in this game? Cowboys or Raiders?
I'm going to go Cowboys.
I'm going to go Cowboys. I don't know, man. Thanksgiving, Justin, y'all be finicky. I'm not going to lie. Like, Cowboys, there's always something on Thanksgiving where you're just like, all right, it's going to be a good Thanksgiving. Cowboys are winning. Or they just get smacked by somebody. Then you have to hear about it from Friday to Tuesday.
Yeah, it does happen. I remember 2 years ago, that was Josh Allen's coming out party. But I just don't see the Raiders doing it. I mean, Henry Ruggs was a big loss for them. Like, they absolutely lost their deep threat. They wasn't scrambling to get to Son Jackson. That's not really working. They really don't have any receivers, honestly. And they can't really run the ball that good, even though they have Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. So, yeah, I see the Cowboys winning. Don't know if they'll cover, but they'll win.
You brought up Josh Allen. Perfect segue to the other Thanksgiving Day game. The Bills in New Orleans against the Saints. Let's first start off with the Saints, man. Byron, how are you feeling about this game? Why are you guys?
We literally just gave up 40 points to the Eagles on Sunday. Our defense is trash. I've been trying to tell you guys that, but no one wants to listen.
5th of DVOA, but go on.
I don't.
That's advanced analytics. Brian's defense is good, but I'll get into why you guys suck when you're done.
Our defense is poo butt. We can't cover deep threats. We can't cover mobile quarterbacks. Our running backs are injured. We just lost Adam Troutman to a injury. So that goes 3 offensive weapons there. Our offensive line, I think one of them just came back. I forget his name, but I don't see us winning. If we win, it'll be a Thanksgiving miracle.
Justin, how are you seeing this game go? Because Byron, as a Saints fan, is not enthused about this game.
I mean, I quite frankly wouldn't be either because Trevor Siemian's playing quarterback for the Saints, and that's just not a good combination of shit.
Which actually, he hasn't actually been doing that well. I mean, doing that bad. He's only thrown like 2 interceptions since he's gotten the starting job.
He's not making the big plays.
Saints are have the number one red zone offense in DVOA. Don't know how, but they do. Kamara didn't practice this week. Neither did Mark Ingram, so I don't think the Saints are going to have them playing. And Trevor Siemian is playing quarterback for the Saints. Enough said. Man, that man is not good. The defense is not as bad as Byron is making them out to be. They just can't really sustain drives on offense and do anything with Trevor Siemian quarterback. Saints probably should have addressed their quarterback situation before the year, but they were doing well with Jameis Winston. So Sean Payton probably thought he wasn't an answer. So I can't really be mad. I mean, Jameis Winston just hurt himself. I mean, that's what it came down to. But it
was a bad tackle on that Buccaneers game.
But I think the Bills are going to blow out the Saints this week. I think the Bills are going to come in pissed off. The Saints don't have the running back, so the Bills don't have to worry about that. The Bills are getting Tremaine Edwards and Star Latulier. Edwards is a linebacker, and Latulier is their defensive tackle. So the run defense should be better. I don't think the Saints are going to make the playoffs, not with Trevor Siemian at quarterback and the Vikings winning again. And the Bills also need to win this game because they are the last playoff team in the AFC currently right now because New England is winning that division.
Which is wild because a couple of weeks ago when we spoke, Justin, New England was at the bottom, about to not make the playoffs. And here we are.
The last time we were on, we specifically talked about can the Patriots even make the playoffs? It's looking pretty good now. The Browns fell off. Chargers fell back a little bit. The Raiders fell all the way off. Bengals, they won this week, but they play Steelers this week. So, yeah.
Lost.
Steelers were streaking, and then they fell back off. AFC's a fucking
Yeah, I don't see the Saints winning this game either. That crowd's going to be pumped, but I just don't. I don't see it. I also want to know then why, because with their salary cap, why is Taysom Hill getting a new deal?
Wasn't his I think he signed a deal before the season that was for way more money, and I know this one's less.
I think they restructured his contract.
Okay, restructured. Oh, good. So that will give you guys some salary.
That would be the reason why they did that, because they can't. Yeah. They literally don't have any money. They're like minus $75 million the cap. I saw last week. Yeah, they have no money.
Minus 75. Jesus. Crazy. All right, let's end it off with the best segment in the NFL. Aki's picks for the week. Go ahead.
It's still Tuesday at time of recording, so I don't have all my picks. I might tweet some on Sunday because it's early. But for right now, I got the Bills covering -6. I think they're going to go into New Orleans and just stomp on the Saints. Sorry, Byron. And then I got the Steelers +4.5 at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is looking a little. He's not playing bad per se, but he's not looking as sharp as he was earlier in the season. And the Steelers defense is really good, especially if Minkah Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt and Joe Hayden play this week, unlike they did last week against the Chargers. And Cincinnati also beat them before. It's a division game. Steelers really need to win this game. Bengals do too, but I just can't take the Bengals in this spot. Not as a favorite. And yeah, I gotta go with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers getting 4.5 points. And then if I got any more, I'll tweet it out on Sunday.
All right. With that, that's the end of the Super Pod. So we will go start off with you, Justin. Your closing remarks before we go to Byron and wrap this up?
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Buckeyes football on Saturday. I'm too early. Enjoy the Cowboys on Thursday, Buckeyes on Saturday, and the rest of the NFL on Sunday.
Byron?
Go Saints. Even though, you're probably going to get thrashed at home with, Drew Brees commentating and all that Drew Brees halftime stuff that's about to go on. But, have a happy Thanksgiving. Go Saints.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Watch football all weekend, starting on Thursday. From Thursday to Sunday, you should be watching football every day. And with that being said, this is the L7C signing out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.